When I first got that first strong pull that ran down the river and snapped my line, I knew I was hooked, chasing whatever that was. This spring, the stripers started running, and when they started biting, they ain't quit. And I've been chasing them almost every few days, trying not to run them off, but trying to hook them too.
What's up, guys? So on this episode, we are going to join my buddy Adam, aka Beardamus River, for some striped bass fishing. Stripers, rockfish around here, it's one of the largest freshwater predatory species that you can catch in the southeast. And Adam has a very unique place where his property is. Adam has access to kind of the first big shoal coming up the river when these fish are migrating up in the summertime. The water temps start to elevate and they look for those shoals that provide a lot of oxygen in the water.
I went and re-upped again on heavier tackle. Finally hooked my first striper. When that thing hooked, it was a hell of a fight. Running down the river like a AK-47. Not what I meant to say, but oh well. Hey there, my name's Adam Birchfield. I'm originally from Dalton, Georgia, and found this river up here and had never looked back. When I first started my journey up here to Tennessee, I didn't really have many resources besides the deck here and the building that we put on the deck for the lawnmower. And I kept wanting to spend more time here, so I turned the little building into a little cabin, put me a canopy over the top. Everything was dry, warm. I had a heater, fan in the summer. During the different seasons, the river would come up sometimes. Hurricanes would bring floods, spring rains would bring floods. And unfortunately, it comes up above my place here, and I'd have to pack everything up and paddle it through the woods up to the top of the hill.
So as you can see, living on the river is great, but it does come with its own set of challenges. I mean, can you imagine you get a big rain, you have to pack up all your belongings and paddle a kayak back out to dry land? It's crazy, but he loves the lifestyle. He's got a home, a permanent home, built on higher ground now. So while he doesn't live directly on the river anymore, he's still down there pretty much every day.
On the river, and you don't hear any other humans or none of the big city jumble or rush hour traffic. None of that down here. It's just peace and quiet and enjoying time in nature. The occasional bald eagle flies by. That's an extra special treat every few days. Got all the wildlife you could imagine. Deer, turkey, mountain lions. Got my little buddy here. He's my best river dog. He kicks it with me about every time I'm on the water. He took right up with me a little over a year ago. Rides on the front of that kayak like a champ.
So Adam and I approach things a little differently. Adam will run down there with a Shakespeare spinning setup and like a storm swim bait similar to this one that he gave me last time we were out fishing, and he'll go after them. Adam is okay with breaking off a lot. I'm not. I usually go with a much heavier setup. I have a 7'9" custom swim bait rod. I throw it on a Shimano Tranx reel with braid to like a 60-pound Seaguar leader. I really like to throw a larger swim bait, such as this Hercules by Z-Man. It's a similar setup to the Storm. It's a little bit bigger, a little sturdier hook. I like throwing those. Another bait that I really like to throw are soft plastics, a large paddle tail swim bait. I really like these in that shoal type presentation. You can cast them up above the shoal, do a steady retrieve, let it wash back through. Looks really natural, like a bait fish just coming down the river. These are Elastec. They're super stretchy. You can catch a lot of fish on them without tearing them up. I throw it on a 10-aught belly weight hook. That really allows it to come through that moving water without getting hung up a lot. Another presentation that I like is when I'm doing a river float for stripers is a big glide bait. When you're covering water, point A, point B, you're looking for the structure that they're going to hold on, okay? So a lot of times it's a current break. Like that's the main thing that you're looking for. The different cover types, you'll have some boulders, you'll have laydowns. You just want to work this bait really slowly down the seam of that, real natural presentation. Even, just beating the bank, casting to the bank and steady retrieve, working this glide bait out real slow. This will trigger some massive strikes.
And after hooking a few over the summer months, I finally hooked into a big one that took off running down the river. And I knew it was a big one as soon as it got on the line because it immediately took out about 40 yards of line on the first pull. And I took off to the middle of the river to keep it off the rocks because I know that's how they snap your line. And he was around 40 something inches long and 30 to 40 pounds. It was something you can't imagine unless you're there to experience it.
So in that last clip, you see Adam landing a small striper. That happened live, and it just happened to fit the storyline of him talking about catching his personal best striped bass. Here is the picture of his PB, and it is an absolute giant. So anyone that lives near these tributaries, I encourage you, once the water warms up in the summer months, this is a great time to get out and chase these fish. They're migratory. They'll move up and down river systems. A lot of fun to get out and target. Make sure you got the right gear. Make sure you've got a good spot. Get out and try to catch, really a fish of a lifetime. It's hard to find a fish pound for pound that fights harder in a freshwater river system.
So every time I see these shows and stuff talking about river men, river monsters, I'm thinking, that's me. That's my life. I'm living the dream down here on the river, experiencing every bit of it you can think of.